in the year 2000, which for all of you is a long time ago, but for me it was my first year as a teacher in the Southmoreland School District. So, yes, I've been around as long as this time capsule. So we wanted to plan an event, and it's a very nicely planned event. A lot of people came together to put this display together. Mrs. Gallick and her students have worked very hard to put all this together. And we wanted to invite the principal of Southmoreland Elementary School, who was here when this time capsule was buried, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, who I also invited up for our Halloween parade, and served a long time as a principal of this building. And while he was serving as principal of this building, I was serving as principal of the high school. So a lot of events that we have done this year, kind of bridging between he and I, both served together for quite a long time. Now he found this to be very important. He came all the way up from Florida to come meet with you and to go through this information and share with you what is going on with this time capsule. So Mr. Lee, take it from there. Let's give him our SES respect.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our time capsule assembly. And it was very nice Mr. Kravchuk was allowing me to come up here. This is today. And we were able to work out a week that I was coming up this way to Pennsylvania to do this. As Mr. Kravchuk said, I was principal here for many years, and I was actually principal here before the time capsule was buried. He said he was here while I was here. I've been here longer than that. I was principal at Southmoreland for 26 years. In this building, I was principal for 20 of those 26 years. So we saw a lot of changes over that time frame. And after I left there and said I came up from Florida today, that's because I currently am working for Walt Disney World in Orlando. I drive buses. I drive buses to take the guests from the Disney hotels to Magic Kingdom. So I run into, every so often, I run into some interesting characters named Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy. You may have heard of them. Now, as Mr. Kravchuk said, when you come in the doors in the morning, when you come to school every day, your teachers are helping you with your reading, and they're helping you do math problems, and they're helping you with science and social studies. And what you probably didn't realize is every day you walk into school, you are actually walking by a piece of history. And that was the time capsule. And you probably didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it being there. I don't know, the stone is over here on the cart. I don't know if anybody ever saw it sitting out there to the right of the doors when you come into the front doors of the school. But that is a piece of history. Now, none of you were born back, none of you students were born back when this time capsule was buried. But if your parents went to Southmoreland, chances are a good many of them were here when we buried the time capsule. So they will really like to see some of the things that are up here that they put in there. So why did we do this in the year 2000? Well, because in 2000, that was a new century. And we were in the year 1999 before that, and there was always this big thing around the country that, oh my goodness, what happens when the calendar and the dates, everything changes to 2000. And there was a fear that all the computers were going to just go crazy and not know what to do because they wouldn't know what to do with the dates. But as it turned out, there was no fear to have because we got to January 1st, 2000, and everything was still the same. All the lights stayed on, school happened when we came back from Christmas break, and it was wonderful. Now, some of the things that were invented in 2000, and some of the adults here might be interested to know this too. I looked this up because I wasn't sure myself. But smartphones were invented in the year 2000. USB flash drives were in 2000. PlayStation 2 was invented in 2000. Thank you for being excited by all those things. See, nowadays you just look at that and go, it's just a normal thing. But did you know, I'm going to play just a little did you know thing here. Did you know that in the year 2000, SES was the only school up on this hill? The middle school was not built until 2008. So in 2000, there was one building up here, and it was kindergarten through grade 6. And we had almost 800 students. And as I watched you all walk in here, and people kept coming in and going up to the top, it kind of reminded me of that, how many students we had at that time. We used to even fill up those corners on both ends. Where the middle school sits right now was actually a blacktop covered area that the kids would have recess. That's also where our buses would pick up students and drop them off every day. And you were able to drive all the way around the building and come out on the other side. So that was something that was different in 2000. The SES office where your secretaries are, Mr. Kravchuk, that was not at that spot either. It was actually across the hall from where it is now. And where the classrooms are, that's where the office was. And where the office is now was also a classroom. But we moved the office so that we could see who was coming to the front doors a lot better than where it was before. Did you also know that the cafeteria kitchen was on the opposite side of the room where the kitchen, and on the other end where the kitchen is, we had just a portable stage. We didn't even have a real stage. We just had something that was up on legs, and we'd carefully go up and do whatever we were doing with the stage. But the kitchen was on the opposite end of the room. The band and the music room were actually, in the year 2000, back in this hallway. The music room was back in this corner here. The band room was over here where the computer lab is. The art room used to be down at the corner at the end of this hall. And where it is now used to be the door going into the boiler room where they would heat the building. So they cleaned all that out and changed it over. So now the time capsule. You can see the time capsule sitting here on the cart. So this is what was buried underneath the stove. And what we asked, we had an assembly back then, and we asked each homeroom to put something in the time capsule that represented their classroom. At this point, I just want to introduce Sharon Kamizak. Ms. Kamizak was one of our teachers at the time, and she was the one that coordinated the time capsule project back into year 2000. And sitting next to her is Mrs. Firestone, who was a 6th grade teacher at that time also. Both of these ladies are retired and enjoying life. But I appreciate that they're coming. Say hello to Mrs. Kamizak and Mrs. Firestone. So there are a number of items up here on the table, and our secretaries and Mrs. Gallick and her students were nice enough to help try to arrange all these things for us this afternoon. So when I'm done talking, we're going to invite you to come down by classroom and maybe you start at that and work your way down on your way back to your room. But on the table up here, you will see some different things. One class put a JCPenney big gift book, which was a big deal back in those days, especially at Christmas time. One class had submitted their thoughts on what school was like, and I think some of them wrote letters to the class or the students that would be here in 2025, and to let you know what it was like back in 2000. Another class put a videotape. Somebody put a Happy Meal toy for McDonald's. There was programs and other things. So when it's time for you to come down, when it's time for your class to come down, again, just walk through and take a look at the different items, and we have them identified by their classroom teacher. Now, before we get to that point, as I said, some of the things were stories or letters that they were writing to you folks now. So Mrs. Galley, some of Mrs. Galley's students are going to come up and read a couple of those letters for you. So I'm not sure who's coming up first, but one of them. And let's make sure we give complete attention.
Hello, my name is Mariska Waterco, and to begin, I'm going to be reading a letter from Rachel Morningstar from January 3rd, 2000. She was a 6th grader. Hello, my name is Rachel Morningstar. Today is January 3rd, 2000. I am in 6th grade in Mr. Belize's room. I am 12 years old. My hobby is collecting pencils. Some of my favorite movies are The Rogue Stallion, The Crippled Lamb, and So Dear to My Heart. Some of my favorite books are the Sandy Lane Stable series. My favorite game is Monopoly. My favorite sports are tennis and baseball. My favorite color is blue. Sincerely, Rachel Morningstar.
Hello, my name is Ava Strom, and I'm reading a letter from Sarah Blackburn. It is January 1999. I am 11 years old. I'm going to be 12 on July 7th. I play basketball, dance, gymnastics, softball, and soccer. I like to play on the internet with my friends.
Hello, I'm Laurel Cavalier, and I'm a 7th grader at SMS. Hello, I'm Keisa Hart. I'm in 6th grade, and my teacher is Mr. Belize. Some of my favorite shows are Popular Charmed and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was born on November 24th, 1987, and I love to play sports like softball and soccer. My best friends are Maria Patona and Catherine Zaxes. I want to be a doctor when I grow up. At the end of 99, I went to Hawaii. Good luck in life. Don't do drugs or anything bad.
Hello, my name is Addison Olera, and I'm a 7th grader at SMS. And I'm reading a letter from Amanda Gilpin. My name is Amanda Gilpin. I am in Mr. Belize's 6th grade homeroom. The date is January 3rd, 2000. Some hobbies I enjoy are collecting Furby's Pokemon cards. I also like playing cards and playing my computer. I like to go online and chat. I also get information off the internet. My favorite music groups are the Backstreet Boys and 98. In my spare time, I like to play Super Nintendo and Game Boy. I also like to play with my 2 dogs, Cat, Rabbit, and Turtle too. My friends are Renee Helen, Christina Helser, Chelsea Shawty, Sherry Roberts, and Tiara Stella.
Today I am reading a letter from Jenna Galloway. Hello, my name is Jenna Galloway. I am in Mr. Belize's 6th grade homeroom. Today's date is January 3rd, 2000. Many of my hobbies include playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Trivia Pursuit on my computer. I also like to play Sony PlayStation. My favorite games are Crash Team Racing, Spyro, and Croc. Outdoor sports that I'm involved in are softball, cheerleading, gymnastics, and volleyball. I really don't like to watch television, but two of my favorite shows would probably be Boy Meets World and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Sincerely, Jenna Galloway.
Hello, my name is Brad Fluffy and I'm going to read a letter from Tiffany Colquest. My name is Tiffany Colquest. I'm in 6th grade in Mr. Belize's room. I'm going to name some of the stuff that may not be here in 25 years. Maybe some electronic games will not be here. Maybe even Barbies that some people like. Maybe some chapter books that I like. Beanie Babies may not be here because they were almost retired last year. Sincerely, Tiffany.
So at this time, I want to thank Ms. Kamizak for helping put this time capsule together back in 2000. I also want to thank Mrs. Gallagher, students, and Mrs. Zorowski in the office to help organize this and bring all this to life up here for us. I also want to thank Mr. Kravchuk for inviting me to come back and have this assembly with you today. I understand that tomorrow night there's a arts and music festival here in the school, and we are going to have these tables set up, I believe, in here. So if your parents, as you're coming through for that, if you're coming to that, they can come and see it. I will be here to see them and let them enjoy what we found in the time capsule. Also, Mr. Kravchuk, I understand that you're going to be doing another time capsule. Yes, in the fall. Starting with the group in September, and then they can start their own time capsule and put it in the ground. So at this time, again, I want to thank you for letting me talk to you today, and we're going to start with 2nd grade, Mr. Kravchuk.
All right, we're going to give you an opportunity to come view the items. We're going to start with 2nd grade and work our way up. Okay, that's what we're going to do. And I just want to add, in the year 2000, it was interesting hearing these letters. Listen up. It was interesting hearing these letters, and I wanted to tell you that next school year, we are going to be making our time capsule for the current students so that we can now add to the time capsule and have another 25 years, and hopefully we get to come back and see that again. So, let's start with 2nd grade. This is Hummelstein.